Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to another edition of Prime, the last for this week. We are this evening going to be looking at what it takes to prepare for retirement, as we started last week, and many persons wrote and wanted us to do another edition. So we are doing part 2 of what we did last week, and today we are going to be asking the question why many persons have failed to prepare for retirement, and also we are going to be looking at how life will look like if you fail to prepare for that retirement, because it's often said that when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So we are going to look at the scenarios, but also since you people requested last week that you wanted to hear from someone who actually was leaving the age of retirement, we thought of doing an interview with an elderly person who is going to be sharing with us in the course of the program what he's living as life at a very advanced age. We are discussing these two aspects of retirement with panelists who are seated already in the house. Mr. Teke Samuel is in the house with us. Good evening, Mr. Teke. We're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm glad to be here too and giving it to our televiewers. We bring something good for you today, and we pray you're going to have fun. Thank you.
We are also in the company of the beautiful Miss L, who is in the studio with us, smartly dressed. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening to everybody, and as usual, I'm glad to be here, hoping that at the end of the day, we're going to be able to answer the so many questions that people have about retirement.
Okay, we are also in the company for the very first time of is January Joybite.
January.
Yes, he's in the studio with us. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leader. It's good to be here on
Prime. Okay, first time, I'm sure you are going to bless our televiewers today with lots and lots of stuff.
Definitely, I think it's a very important topic to talk about. It's also a neglected part as far as life career is concerned for many Cameroonians.
Okay, how soon should we start thinking of retirement?
As early as when you start your first business for an entrepreneur, and as early as when you get your first job as a professional. Because many times when people wait to start preparing at the age of 50, there are many things they cannot do at that age. And of course, retirement, preparing for retirement is about systems and not energy. Because at that age, you no longer have the energy that you can do the work that you can do at the age of 30, at the age of 25, and all of that. So when you start doing, whether you're working or you have a business, start planning for your retirement in terms of what are the systems I can put in place that can take care of me when my energy is weighing out.
Okay, Mr. Teke Samuel, we are going to start this topic with you. I want us to look at the reasons why people fail to plan for their retirement, because with those of you who are watching, you should understand why you are failing to plan. If you are not already planning, wherever you are, you must already be thinking of retirement, because one day I am going to grow old now, you too. So all of us are going to grow old. So how do we survive when we grow old? One of the key reasons why people fail to plan is the fact that they are actually very busy. They don't see the importance. They need to sit down and set a plan aside for these days when their energy is gone.
Yes. I think it's very important. One of the major reasons is people are not aware. They are not taught that they can actually plan for their retirement. So those that are in the civil service, especially those that work with the government, some of them are actually forced to have a retirement benefit, like join the same PS and all of that. So they're actually forced to do it, not out of their will. That's why you could see that some people that actually work, they get angry if they deduct part of their portion of their money that is going to CMPS. Then for those that are into businesses and they can actually manage their own lives, they are not taught that planning for retirement is actually very important. So that ignorance, that lack of knowledge about retirement planning is a major issue why people fail to plan for their retirement. There's no programs, seminar, meetings that people hold. We have entrepreneurs everywhere, but nobody has taken time to look at this topic about retirement. It's okay, we can take this and start teaching both the youth and the old that a time will come when they will have no energy to work and they cannot rely on their young ones to take care of them at old age. So let's start training and teaching them on how they can be able to prepare for their retirement. So the ignorance or the lack of knowledge about retirement is a major reason why people don't prepare or plan for their retirement.
But seemingly, many persons are also very busy on other things and not necessarily retirement. They think that planning for retirement is not as important as planning for a wedding. Yes, because we take time to plan for wedding now.
It boils down to the information you have.
We take time to plan for a birthday. You see, there are people who spend millions, 4 millions to organize a birthday for their girlfriends or their wives. You spend maybe 15 million to organize your wedding and other activities. You have somebody dies, you spend 5 millions. You don't think that you should start planning for.
So people think that because it's retirement, they think they have time. So why should I be planning for something that I have about 30 or 40 years to live? So they decide to follow the pressing things, the immediate things at the moment. And that's why I talk about information. Because they don't have the information that their retirement is more important to them than even what they are doing right now. So they should start planning for it. So instead they concentrate on this, like I said last week, immediate pleasure, and they enjoy immediate pleasure for tomorrow's treasure. So if the information is there that, hey, see, your retirement, your old age is very important to you if you want to live longer, they will put it as a priority. They will plan for it alongside with the other things that they are planning for. Retirement is not supposed to be something you decide, okay, let me live for next year. Like Mr. Jobe says, start planning for it the moment you start working or you start getting into your business. Last week I said, as a business person, you should decide to reserve a percentage of whatever amount of money you earn as a profit of your business. So if every month your business gives you 200,000, for example, decide that 10% or 20% of that money goes for my retirement. And how do you save the money? Create a bank account, call it retirement account, and save that money inside. Keep it there. Don't touch it until when you decide to get retired. And I want to correct this idea. Retirement does not mean you must be at 60 or when you are old before you retire. Because most people are seeing it that way. That's why if you are 30 or you are 40, you think that, okay, I have like 30 more years to live. So let me enjoy my life until when I'm getting to 50 or 60, they start thinking about retirement. It's already too late. If you start talking about your retirement at age 30, age 40, age 50, it's too late. You are supposed to start talking about retirement the moment income start getting into your life.
Okay, we took time off to talk to Pangwa Pius, who came right here in our studios and to share with us how life is at a very advanced age. Let's have this first excerpt. You are an artist, you are a musician, you have lots of talents, and at your age, are you living a happy life? Did you take time to prepare for this age?
Mr. Leo, when you look from carving to this, what we have been talking, vegetable art, I've been looking for a possible way to have money, even to earn a living with my children. It's not easy. It was before that you can take a piece of artwork and go to Mancon or Bamenda Center or come down here, you will sell and have money. But with this present what we are calling war, which I don't even like to hear it, it's not easy for somebody to buy a piece of artwork and put his house for decoration. He prefers to buy food. There are times you see me, children, my child has asked me why did I deliver him? Because he's not living the way a child is supposed to live. And then my wife, since you want me to talk more, my wife has money more than me now. And she wants me to be sleeping behind the bed. If your wife is feeding you, giving you whatever she's giving you, she wants you to sleep behind the bed. And that was what brought problem with I and my wife sometimes. That I'm fighting, although I'm like that, I still fight to see that I satisfy my own part in the house
When you were young, why did you not foresee this? Why did you not prepare for this time?
Good. When I was young, all these diplomas that I was showing you, I was getting monies. I was building a place like this eco-village, which I told you, hoping that by now, because when tourists, when they come to that place, I must have part of what I have to earn a living, because I designed that place. That place I designed, the asset I put there was more than almost 4 to 5 million. It's not an easy place, that eco-village, which I'm talking of. In Bafut, Bafut. The people there are the women who were working. We had my brother who buried the place with me. They is dealing with the white women. They were coming. They were teaching women how to even build a house out of nothing. All these things. I was hoping that by now, not even be suffering, but it's worse. The whole thing is down. My own house, the bullets. And it's not easy to walk. Even pieces of asphalt that you see me walk. There are times when I'm walking, when you hear beautiful, bah, bah, you have to fall down first.
But at this issue, you're supposed to be resting.
How can you rest with hungry in your stomach, Mr. Adio? How can you rest with hungry? Children this today, they know money. It's not in those days that they fool us with 50 francs you eat and stay for a day. Children today, they know money. But I, for one, I still have my strength. God has created me and created me well. As far as we are talking here now, I still hope that I'll do my best I'm changing the arts from this to this, from this to this. If somebody doesn't buy, I enter people's houses with my artwork. If you sit like this and see me enter your house with a piece of artwork and you give me more money, more than what I think I would have even sold that piece of artwork. There are people doing it. If they don't even have some, they must give you small things at that moment to earn a living. So the artwork that you are working don't have a standard price.
Okay, I will just, I think it summarizes to some extent what we struggled to talk about last week. Thank God we were able to talk to somebody who is living what we have been saying. We are all going to react to what he just said.
There's one thing he said that struck me. He said he spent his money, the money was taken from all the diploma and all of that, to build something. What he was doing was a retirement business. He wasn't doing a retirement saving. So, and this is business, you can't predict, something can happen. So, someone might justify, but he did retirement and the thing did not work. He put money in a business. What he did not understand is there's a particular savings you have to keep for your retirement, and that part is lacking. And he could tell you things like, now I no longer have money, my child saying, why did you deliver me, and all of that. So the televiewers have to understand that while you are working, when you're actively working, you're making money, you can put up certain business for your retirement, but you should have a saving, a retirement saving account, that no matter what happens, you can always go there from time to time to withdraw, to take care of yourself while you're seeing how the business can grow.
Yes, Miss L.
Trust me, watching that video, a lot is playing on my mind, like a lot concerning retirement. Like Mr. Teke said, that's one thing I took note of when he said he built there is an eco-village. That's one thing that got to me, that he even thought of it is a plus. But now, looking at it, that everything has gone down, meaning that he took some steps preparing for the retirement, but not the right way. So many people are watching us now, and some people may be saying that they have businesses that they already put in place for their retirement. But like Mr. Teke said, these businesses you're putting in place, you don't know the outcome tomorrow. A business is a business. But savings is already money. It's your cash in hand is what is yours. Like, it's not something that you need to start trading before you get the income. It's already there. It's yours. So it's very important that when we are planning for our retirement, and for more indications, I think that from the pictures they showed, it's like he actually even started that late. From the pictures we saw on when, because I think they showed some pictures when he was doing all of that, it shows that he actually came up with the idea a little bit late, not like, because if it was that early, I'm sure that that particular place, because if he's spending 4 to 5 million to build that eco-village, it's possible that if he had been running earlier, some proceeds could have come from that eco-village that could have been used on something else. But him just building, and along the line, this crisis comes up and all of this, then it means that he has not really been long. And that's the more reason why we are emphasizing on the fact that you start planning for your retirement the same day that you start working.
Yeah, but there's something that, though we are going to look at it, how life may look like if you fail to plan for retirement. What he said, that the child is saying that, why did you bring
your children, your extended family, and all of that? And something is getting to my mind, that is diversification. If you look at him, he concentrated only on it as work. And the world was changing. Innovation was coming up. He was not innovating. So he was at his hard work. I wish that he diversified, put in some other money in some other businesses. Now that the Eco Village isn't working, probably that other business might or would have been giving him money, and the story would have been different. So I think our people need to understand diversification. So you don't just depend only on one sector of income. It's dangerous.
Okay. Yes, Jabet, did you pick anything? Especially when he says, now it is my wife who takes care of the family. I'm forced to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. My first job was in a finance house, in a microfinance, and I don't relate to that because it's really happening. And we were paying pensioners every month, and you would see 60-year-olds, 65-year-olds, 70-year-olds, and they come to the bank and they're getting 7.5 every month, 13.5, 14.5, 17.5, and that's your pension allowance for that month. So at some point, even compared to this who was not a full-time employee, it's almost at that same level. You see them struggling, and think of the trouble they go through to follow their documents before the pension start passing. So, and there's a lot of pain that many of these people are going through, but it's very important to look at that structure. And again, there's a certain age I always advise when you're about to set up something, don't set up just on your own knowledge. Try to talk to an expert. And it gets to frustrate a lot of people when they get to start up businesses without a long-term structure. For example, I did a research, part of my research in my master's program was on succession planning and family businesses. And there are many people, you made them and they are used to be rich. What happened? The transfer of that business to a younger generation was not well done. And many families end up poor, meanwhile they used to be very wealthy. So it's almost the same thing that they are going through, and the most important thing lacking is that information and that training on how to set up a good retirement plan system. And if that is not there, year in, year out, you keep seeing parents, elderly people going through a lot of challenges without struggling, with a lot of struggle. And most importantly, when you do that and your kids are still in school, the ripple effect now affects the access to education for the children, and it starts bringing out difficult families. Maybe divorce come in and kids start growing up with separate families and all of that. So I think it's something that people need to start intentionally looking at. If I don't know what to do as far as my retirement plan is concerned, where can I get help? They should ask for help and make sure that the future is designed.
Okay. I don't know. We'll check the volume. I don't know where the problem is. The people of Kumba are writing that the volume is not too clear. Mr. Teke. Now, some people think that it's too soon to start preparing for retirement, claiming that they will start when it is almost time for retirement.
Well,
many persons we are talking, it sounds strange.
Okay, so it's strange because it's a new knowledge that is coming into Cameroon. So my humble suggestion is it's not too soon. As a matter of fact, like I said, if you're starting when you're 30, it's even too late. So start the moment you start generating income. Now, this is how you're going to calculate it. The earlier you start, the better retirement life you will have. If you start saving or start preparing for your retirement early, it means you have a better retirement life. If you start late, it means you're going to have a managing retirement life, because you have a shorter period to prepare for it, you'll be in a hurry, and you not have the energy to prepare for it very well. So start as early as you can. The moment you get this information, start thinking, what am I supposed to do to prepare for my retirement life? If you start earlier, you are going to retire early. Imagine you getting retired at 40. You retire at age 40. You have enough time to enjoy life. Not when you get to, okay, the video we watch, the man said, thank God for him that God has created him very well. But looking at him, he should be like 60, 70.
Now how does he retire?
Yes. See, and he's not ready to retire because there's no preparation. Yeah. And he's telling you that God has created him where he's still working, so you still do his artwork and then to go to people's houses. Imagine someone at 70 coming to your house to come and sell. Yeah. You only buy out of pity, not because you actually love what they do. Number two, with his age, the innovation, the innovative mentality is not there. So he will create, no matter how much he's trying to fix it, he will only fix it based on his age, his civilization. Yeah. Except he bring in new people into the system. And bringing in new people in the system, it becomes difficult for him to train young generation on how the 21st century artwork should look like. So it's terrible. If you prepare early, you will live a better retirement life. And it's going to help you to retirement early. Imagine retiring at 50 or at 40. You will enjoy life with your family. But retiring at 75, 80, it's terrible. Like what we see in Cameroon, from the government sector down to private businesses, people are 75, they are still working. Why?
And reducing their age.
Reducing their ages. But the truth is, you can reduce it on paper, but it will show.
Yeah.
So you cannot retire at 75 or 80 because you did not start preparing on time. And there's no way you can demonstrate, you can live life on your own terms. It's not possible. So let's start early so we can retire early and enjoy life.
Okay, we can retire early and enjoy life. Some say that at times it's too late because you are saying that lack of ignorance. Many persons are getting the information now, and maybe they are 2, 3, 4, 5 years to retirement. So some give up and say it's already late. Is it actually late? Even in retirement, is it too late to start preparing to have a better life after work?
No, it's never late to prepare for your retirement. Even if you're at the point now where you feel like, okay, it's not moving, you're about to step out and there's nothing for you to do, you can still make something out of that. I think that the highest thing that help people during their time of retirement are skills. What you can be able to do that will not take so much of your physical energy, because if you are already at your age 40 or 50 or 60, your physical energy is not there. The physical strength is not there. And so it's more of the mind that has to work now for you at that time. And so it's possible that during the time where you're already on retirement, you should go more for empowering yourself and coming up with activities that will not take so much of your physical strength, but will take more of your mental strength, more of the mental activity. And you can be able to generate money from that. There are some other people who can be able to, who can involve in different businesses that does not really need your physical presence that much. I've seen cases of people who are already retired, and what they do is they establish businesses and make their children to run it, or make some people from their circle, make some young people around them to be able to run it for them. And they sit in the house and they are trying now to get money from there to save. Meaning that no matter how the situation is now, it's possible for you to be able to still, now you're not planning. I'm not saying that you're planning now for your retirement. When you're already retired and there's nothing you're doing, what you're doing is that you're trying hard now to come up with a means to sustain yourself in retirement, because you cannot be able to enjoy so much like the person who started planning before you. So what you're doing now is that every activity you have to do is to help you to sustain yourself at this time when you are retired, other than staying home and doing nothing. And I also discovered that so many people are afraid of retirement because they live in debt. You know, when you owe so many people and you have to leave your job, you start asking like, how am I going to pay? And so nobody wants to leave their job. And you enter retirement age, you are owing so many people. You live a life of, I don't know, like you're afraid of even walking on the street because you're owing people. That's one of our major problems. Debts right now. That's what so many of our parents are into.
So everybody should start working on that.
They should start working on that. Like if you have so many debts around, that's one of the things that you have to work on before you get into retirement. Make sure that you clear debts around you, other than living a beggarly life, paying debts. You're working and paying debts everywhere. Okay,
Mr. Joybet, many persons think that there is no need to take a time off to prepare for their retirement, because accordingly something is being saved at the level of national social insurance. But can that cater for a decent retirement?
I think another question that they need to ask is, how much really will they be earning every month after retirement?
Yeah, because some people think that that is the preparation already.
That's why I really encourage anybody who is doing the social insurance program. It's good. The government has good intentions, but in quotes. But it is imperative that if you are doing that, go ask questions. Talk to people who have retired. You'll be surprised at how much they earn every month from their pension fund. And if you look at the way the living standards are increasing, you cannot depend on your pension program.
Yeah, you said you worked.
You
worked. How much were they paid?
You see, good. And they pay, and sometimes some pay according to percentages. So you cannot be earning 50,000 francs every month as salary, and they pay according to that percentage. And you expect to earn the same with somebody who is earning 300,000 francs. The question is, what percentage of Cameroonian workers earn from 300,000 francs and above? So it's a very challenging. I've experienced this working in paying pensioners. So it's a terrible experience. So I think the most important thing people need to start looking at is, what systems can I create that I am not active in the systems, but they can still raise me money? If anybody thinking in terms of retirement should think in terms of systems. Like, for example, the social insurance programs is a system. Now, running a business or creating a business, and you have a good succession plan to transfer from you to a child or to an employee, is a system. Putting your money in a business that you can buy shares and it pays you every year is a system. Investing in the business that they can give you monthly income for you to live on is a system. The problem is that many of our people don't think beyond the system of social insurance program. They think only that, and apart from that, let's see what the Lord will do. But in terms of all that finance structure, design is very important. You don't wish and you have a good financial life. It takes a design, it takes a system for you to be able to experience that. So it takes intentionality. What can I start doing now? How can I replicate? And as Mr. Soke said something earlier, acquiring new knowledge is very important. For example, this past said his eco village was destroyed. Fine, sorry about that. But the question is, how can it leverage on technology, social media, and sell what he's doing right now in other nations? The way the West buy art from Africa is not the same way Africans consume art. I know somebody in this same Cameroon who, a very simple system, he has a Facebook page, he puts pictures on the page, he designed artistic stuff like this, and he does a paid post, and that post is promoted only in cities in America. People order and he sends to DHL and he makes money. But if he's a young guy like us, so he has that knowledge of the present economy to do that. So if you are at a certain age and you're growing, I would strongly recommend you to try to upgrade your knowledge, because the only way that you can design something better for your life and for your future is directly responsible for the kind of knowledge that you have at the moment.
Okay, we are going to take another listen to Bangwa Pius, who lives in the Northwest region, Bafut precisely, on how life looks like. Do you think that there should be retirement for people in your field?
The retirement with people like us can only be decided if government knows a man like me, because I was supposed to, government supposed to have even given me a house. Yes, because the diplomas that I have, if you put it up now, if you, Mr. Liu, you are a man from the media, go and put it up. That is Bangwa Pius has papers, 28 good diplomas, and that you are putting on concours. Any other artist would have even nearer 15 of them. Let him also come up, we'll compare and see. We'll give him a dash. There's nobody. I'm proud of myself in this country. But I'm only proud dancing in my house. The Ministry of Culture in Yaoundé knows me. My phone numbers are there. Sokadap is somebody who has been helping us at times, giving people like 100,000 after 2 years. But I don't even have luck on that section, because there are times when they get the monies, we have CBC Bank in Bamenda. They send our monies to CBC Bank, Bafosa. They come and stay there, we are not informed. There are monies at times which are followed. It's just a mere good Samaritan who went and saw my name in Babsam around some ministry they have sent. The money has been there for a long time, but some decided to send it back to CBC Bank Yaoundé. Before I follow that money, why should be suffering on top of something, even very small money like that, which are giving you as pension, as your rights?
What should a young artist start doing so that by the time he gets to your age, he should not be working? Since government is not paying anybody.
Let him really look into, follow my story. Hardworking. When you work 10 francs, eat 5 francs, and even enter youngest, of which I did not know that before. Meet a group of people where just clear yourself away from children who are rough. Had it been I was rough, Mr. Lee, although I don't have money or living well, I would have not been living. The bullet things like that would have even put me down. So I'm happy the way my father brought me up. My father was a cook. I witnessed the war in Nigeria in around 1956. I saw the war between Ojukwu and Gawan when they were fighting in Nigeria, that Biafra war. I was at the age of 5 years. So my father treated me, when my father gives me bread, and then when I eat it, and eat it fast, eat it as if I'm enjoying the bread. My father will ask me whether the bread is good. I say yes. My father will tell me to go and throw it. According to him, he thinks that as I'm enjoying with that bread now, I'll have the anxiety to be stealing his money as I'm buying bread. Look at his own way of thinking of a child. But if you give a child that room of any coming, growing up there, begin to bet him, giving him money, give him all those facilities, he will grow with that. He will not know what is good and bad. And then the hard working also, especially during this time that let youths, at times you see youths, they wear trousers and hang them down like that as if they can't shoot. That's not the kind of the youth that I'm talking of. A child who dress well. Because with us in the Northwest, if they see you wrapping down your head or dragging, they gun you down. Because they know that you are big. They believe that those are Mr. Leo, they will think that you are big. That's why you find innocent people dying in the whole.
Pastor, they will think that you are ambi. I don't know. Okay, yes, Mr. Teke, we have lots and lots of lessons from the things he says there. He actually raises a problem where many persons are failing, hoping that somebody is going to take care of you. Yeah. Yes, he was hoping that the government.
He's still hoping that by now the government is supposed to give, the government should give him a house. Yeah. You get, but one thing is, I think I'm happy for him because he's able to share his story and a lot of people are going to learn. But then we have to start understand, like we always say every Friday at my media Prime Hour, that see the government owes you nothing. Even if by right they owe you, forget about the debt. Sometimes it's bad debt. You might not be able to recover it. And so you have to learn to start building your life. Like he said if he knew outside working hard, he would have learned to save. He said, if you have 10 francs, eat 5 francs, save 5 francs. Join Jangi, get the money, put in business. You must always think of savings. A portion of your earning should go for your retirement savings. Now, for you to increase our retirement savings, you can always try to put it into businesses that can actually pay you off when you can no longer work. No, I'm not talking about business where you go and be selling clothes or selling granite. I'm talking about a system where even when you are not there, the system can still generate income for you and your retirement life will be better. There's a lot of lessons we need to learn from Pangwa's story. And like he said, you could see that he has a lot of regrets with him, the kind of way he has lived his life. Probably he earned some, he was a celebrity in his time. You could see counting about 25 awards and all of that. I said money was coming alongside. But right now, nothing is coming. His eco village is not there and all of that. So question is, what happens? Now, like I always say, if you are going to Bamen to Douala from Boya and a bus takes you going towards Kumba, if you realize that this is not the way to Douala, this is Kumba, immediately, instead of you stay there and start complaining, take a U-turn and start going straight to Douala. So if you are retired and you're getting this message for the first time, It's not too late. Turn now and start asking, what am I supposed to do to secure my life now? If you have few years to retire, what am I supposed to do to meet up with the years I've wasted? If you are still a youth, what am I supposed to do so that I can prepare for my retirement early? It is not late for anybody, as much as it is late for so many people, but it's not late for anybody. We can make it right and we can prepare our future so we don't have such complaints.
Yes, many persons say their ignorance, because we say this knowledge is new. But Miss L, from what he's saying that people should learn from his story, which means, like you said, I'm sure last week, that you saw the way your I don't know whether it's your aunt, your grandma, yes, and these are all lessons that we are living with, yet ignoring. Because when we see people on retirement who are going through very difficult times, we think that's God talking to us.
Of course. He has said something very pertinent there. He said all those things he did not know it before now. Meaning that in their time, there was already an information that was going on. Retirement was not really a factor. So when we're talking about retirement and people still don't see the need, it means that they have not left, they have not shifted. They have not shifted. They are still thinking, about what people are doing in the old. Okay, I'll just use a funny word one of my sisters used one time. He said, when our mothers are telling us not to use this particular rubbing oil, she said, when they are telling us not to use this particular rubbing oil, she should not forget that the weather has changed. So when she said so, I laughed. That the weather has changed. Things have changed. Industries have come, and now this sun that we are working on that is different from the one that was burning them in those days. So we have to look for something to brighten our skin. It's the same thing. When she said it, we laughed about it, but it rang so many things in my head. So the same way this man is saying that in their time he did not know that information. So it's my own wish, my own desire that people watching us now will be able to accept this information. Before we started the session, and now I was telling Mr. Teke and Mr. Joy about the call that I received, and one man was like, everything we're talking about retirement is not working. That's what he told me. That everything we're seeing on TV, it cannot work in this Cameroon. Never. He spoke to me he was talking for like 30 minutes. He spoke, I was already tired. And now, when he talked, I only asked some questions. I said, sir, how old are you? He said, 60. I said, are you retired? He said, yes. So I just understood that he's living a retirement age that it's bad, it's terrible, and he feels like it cannot work. Now my problem is that if you have already reached that point where you see that it's not working, it did not work for you because you did not plan. Why should you say it does not work if you have never planned before? Instead, you should be able to use your story like what this man is doing. Use your story and tell people, okay, I didn't plan for my retirement and I'm suffering at the age of 60. Maybe we could just try some of these things that these people are saying. You who is younger, just shift your mind to the system that we have now in our community. Although it's rather unfortunate that now so many youths talk about making money other than talking about what will happen after that. That's the only difference now. So thank God that these topics are coming up. So it's not just, when we're talking about retirement, it's not just for the old, it's for everybody. The funny examples he made use of, like young guys sagging their trousers, living some type of lives and all the like, he still mentioned one word. He said hard work. Yes, but I would like to add something that I learned from Mr. Teke. He said one time that it's not only about hard work, it's about smart work. So you don't only work hard, you work smartly. So if we're working hard, we're using our physical energy, our mind is supposed to be working alongside our body, so we can be able to do that which is right to plan for retirement. So everybody should start talking about that. Now you should start talking about that. And associations and all these things also matter during our retirement. Like he's talking about, he spoke about young guys being with friends that might get them involved in things that are not necessary. It's very true. All right, there are some things that you might do now. Let's not only look about the financial part of the retirement. What about the social part of the retirement and all that? Okay,
Eli, there is a serious synchronization problem out there. I don't know where the problem is. There is an issue with synchronization. Can you work on that? Yeah, go on.
Okay, as I was saying, that we should not only look about the financial part, let's look about the social aspect of the retirement. Because if you live a life that is terrible now, you live a funny lifestyle, even at your old age, or during your retirement. If some people successfully plan for their retirement financially, and because of some social ethics or some poor social attributes, everything they plan for their retirement gets finished before they even get to 5 years after retirement. Because they feel like when we're talking about retirement, is that you have to start going on vacations, you have to sleep in baths, get drunk, waste your life and all that. That's not it.
Okay, that's not it. Joybet. Now, we are talking about also controlling our spendings now. It's also about controlling the way we spend now, so that when we finally get at our age of retirement, we should not have wasted a good chunk of our resources.
Let me start with this experience. I was asked to come speak to some ex-students of a particular school, I think 1970 something batch, and my goal was to show them how they can build a better life and transfer what they're doing and what they know to the next generation, which is their kids or somebody working under them, because it was a challenge. And of course, many of them, the experience I had is that many of them were working and they were all about the now and the short-term goals. And when you talk about spending and making money, it is very important to understand that when money comes to you, it is your responsibility to know how to keep money, multiply that money. So people are mostly good at making the money and spending the money. It's good to make money, keep money, and multiply that money. And one of the best ways that you can multiply money that you are making and plan for your retirement is for you to be conscious. This is my total income. How much do I spend on my monthly expenses? How much do I use to reinvest and build what is making me to make that money? What do I mean? If you are making 100,000 francs, it is important to understand if you are working, you should be able to invest part of that money to build your skills and go back to school maybe and gain more money and get more skills so you can get paid more. If you run a business, get a part of that income, reinvest it into the capital and grow the business. And a good part of that income, as it was said already by Mr. Teke, should go into savings. Because if you are not able to save, you may not know how to use money that you don't have.
Yeah, but to be able to save, you need to be disciplined, huh?
Absolutely.
Because there are people who really want to save, but they cannot.
Now, you see, dealing with money is beyond assumptions. Many people find it difficult to deal with money because they don't know how money works. So if you don't have information how money works, you don't know how numbers work, and most importantly, if you are not a visionary, one of the most important things that enhances discipline is vision and consequences. If you are able to have a vision of your life 40 years from now, two things will happen. Either you see a beautiful life or you see a bad life, and a bad life means consequences. So many people are all about the daily bread, right? What do I drink now? What do I eat now? And let tomorrow take care of itself. And when they wake up tomorrow, they start regretting without a proper plan.
Okay. Yeah, we have to plan, eh?
Sure.
We have to plan. Mr. Teke, some people say there's no need to plan at all. They live by faith. Prophecies are given,
Okay.
and declarations are made, and they themselves, they declare. The Bible says that life and death is in the power. Yes. They tell, yes, that what has to be will be.
Okay, so I think that should take us back to our pastors and our churches. You know, when we started seeing some things like the church is now becoming very economical and trying to teach about money and all of that. I think that part of the church was lacking before now, because the whole thing is people have thought about heaven, and they forget to know that there's a part of heaven that is supposed to be lived on earth. I always like using an example of Abraham. Abraham was a very wealthy man on earth according to the Bible, and Abraham prepared for his retirement. Abraham died as a wealthy person and as a righteous person. it is not, I like calling it impossible. It is impossible for you. Impossible means impossible and cannot. It is impossible for you to actually become financially successful or financially free and live a decent retirement life without planning. You have to plan. There's no two ways about it. Faith has nothing to do with this. Assumption has nothing to do with this. Receiving from church when the pastor preaches and declarations has nothing to do with this. Prophecy has nothing to do with this. What prophecy can only do is to enable you build the hope that if you plan well, your planning will actually be fulfilled. That's why the Bible says that surely there is an end, but the expectations of the righteous will not be cut off. Yeah. It simply means that the planning, the working of the righteous will not be cut off. It's not a mere wish. Any wish that does not go alongside with actions is nothing. So a Christian or whoever must plan, prepare for their future. And God is saying that this thing you're preparing for, I will put my energy in it and make sure that it works. But if there's nothing you're preparing for, there's nothing God is going to prepare for you. He asked Moses, what do you have in your hand? So anybody who wish and is receiving in church, question is, what do you have in your hand that you can put in the future? God is a farmer. God is a seed planter. He teaches us how to plant on daily basis. If you want to live a better tomorrow, you want to live a better retirement life, question is, what are you planting today? What seeds are you planting today? Some are planting vegetable seeds. If you put huckleberry seeds today, in 3 months it will germinate. You will harvest it, it dies off. And that person is planting a palm seed. That will take him 10, 20 years and he will still be harvesting. So question is, out of your energy that you're putting at work today, everybody is planting whether you like it or not. But truth is, what are you planting? Are you planting a vegetable seed or you're planting a palm seed? Are you planting an estate or you are just planting a vegetable farm? It all depends on what you are planting. If you're planting a palm estate, trust me, you're going to last you for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. If you're planting a vegetable farm, it's just 3 months, you harvest it. That's like some people can enjoy their retirement in 3 months, in 6 months, in 5 years. Everything is gone. They start depending on their children. Why some persons have their retirement all till they will die, and their retirement benefit will still be there for their children's children. So what are you planting? Now, talking about people who think that, man, this thing is not working, let's not do this, it cannot work in Cameroon. Does it work in America? Does it work in Europe? Does it work in Nigeria? Does it work in other countries? If the answer is yes, it can work in Cameroon. The problem I have with the average Cameroonian is that we think that certain things are not possible in this country. And we should be able to kick that mentality out. That's why I'm happy that we should be talking about mindset, because we have to start changing our paradigm.
Next week. That is what we are starting a series on that next week.
Yes, because the average Cameroonian need to understand what a mindset is. The moment you open your mouth and say it cannot work in Cameroon, it will never work for you. It will work for other Cameroonians who believe, but for you it will not work, because you've created an environment of impossibilities. So the heavens, the universe will make sure that every opportunity for a retirement, for a good retirement life to come to you, they will ensure that they stop it from getting around you, because your mouth has said it, your heart has thought it, and so it is impossible for your life to experience it.
It's very difficult one there. Let me take a few messages, 2 or 3. Good evening, Mr. Liu and members of the panel. Your program is so educative and life-changing program, as it teaches a lot. Because of this prime hour, I and my people have fallen in love with my media prime. God bless you, Mr. Liu, and the team on board. Jean is writing from Yaoundé. This was his wow, I'm enjoying this. I'm talking from Yaoundé in Tui precisely. Good evening to you. Yes, so many persons have written about the synchronization issue. Good evening, sir. Mr. Teke talks of investing in a business. Can we have some examples, please? Desmond is writing from Douala. Desmond, good evening to you. Apostle Lambi Valentine, our consultant, watching us, says, Liu, retirement is not going out of business, but going out of work. Retirement is when money works for you and not you working anymore for the money. Good evening to you. Man of God Daisy, watching from Kumba, says, good evening, Mr. Liu, Mr. Teke, Miss L, and Mr. Joybert. I'm enjoying the program. In fact, I'm in school right now. failing to plan is planning to fail. I'm enjoying the program. In fact, okay, Daisy, good evening to you watching from Kumba, and all of you watching from the Green City, Kumba. Miss L. Now, one aspect that the persons should actually know is that if you must also succeed at the level of retirement, you must learn to cut off your kids at a particular time, because you have children, because you have some reserves. They are grown up, they will not want to fend for themselves. They still depend on what you have.
Okay, yes, it's important to be able to prepare your children at the level of their mind. You have to prepare them, because even if you want to remove them from your expense list, they are supposed to be prepared. You have to prepare them psychologically that, okay, this is time for you to do this, it's time for you to do that. Then you are able to focus. Because I think one of the reasons why, like somebody brought it up last week, that one of the reasons why they are unable to save is because they have so many children, they have to feed, they have to send them to school and all the like. Okay, I'll give a practical example. I always use this because at the level of my family, we try to live a very practical life. Like, if it's red, it's red. If it's blue, it's blue. Earlier today, someone was asking me some questions, and I told her that it doesn't work like that in my house. And she was like, why? I said, my mom said when you go to the university, you don't come back to our house. And she said it like a joke, and we just realized that it worked for everybody. If you go, you want to come back, she's like, I cannot do that. Even if you're coming for weekend, you should be funding something in that house. Not that she does not have to give you, just that let there be that sense of responsibility in your mind, that you can be able to fix your future. And so if you don't prepare your children like that, like I said it, she started telling us this. She started telling me when I was in Form 5 that as you're going to school, I know that as you're going to university, you're not coming back to my house. She says it like a joke. And she's saying it, she's implementing it gradually. You call that you're coming for weekend for university. She asks you that, why are you coming? So to come and stay with people. Don't come, stay in your house and read. Now, our minds are already prepared. So it's okay to get to the point where you can tell your children that, okay, stand on your own so that I can be able to start saving for my future. But you have to prepare the children psychologically. And you have to explain some of these reasons. When you are able to put this to them, it also helps them, because when it gets to their time, they will also know what to do. Yes, they also know what to do. But nonetheless, even if you have to get to the point where you have to send off kids and all that, as a parent, there's a way it goes. Like what we said earlier here, that it's not like the message that the barrister sent. It's not about, you're not stopping your business.
Apostle, Ambi.
Oh, apostle, you're not stopping your business. I said last time that retirement is not the end of the road. It's the turn in the road, meaning that where the pattern the lane you've been walking on, you just make a little turn, like shift to another side. But it's still a profitable side, because the turn you're making, it has a link to the first road that you were walking on. So when you consent this, it's just us turning a little. And when you're turning a little, of course you have to let go some things, but I'll still set on the point that even if you're letting go of some things, be able to still prepare your mind, the mind of your children. And don't just let your children off with a reason and don't implement it. For instance, I tell you, okay, I'll not be giving you allowance again because I want to save. You use that as an excuse. At the end of the day, you will saying that you're not giving me allowance because you want to save for your retirement. You are not saving for the retirement. Meaning that at the end of the day, you have food me and food yourself. And that's what most of our parents do. They only get up and tell children, oh, okay, you have to start thinking of yourself. Look at me, I have to focus on myself. I've helped you people. You've gone to school and all the like. Last week, Mr. Teke said something here. I even used that statement to somebody. It's when it concerns children and parents, it's your responsibility to send your children to school. The children don't owe you at their old age money. What they owe you is just love and care. That's all. It's not that they have to pay you back. So it's your responsibility to send your children to school. It's their right to go to school with money from your pocket. It's their right. So away from that now, I am a child and I'm leaving the house with my parent, and my parent is sending me to school. When it gets to the point where they have to shift me away from their expenses and be able to cater for themselves, let them not just tell me that please shift and don't save up for it, because at the end of the day, I will not be able to learn from you. Although it's true that most of our kids, okay, talking to youths now, I think we should also get to the point where we can be mature and responsible. Because I've literally seen guys who are of age and they are still living with their parents and
Many
still
of them.
feeding from their parents. I don't know how
And
it happens.
they shout, mommy, you must give me money.
Yes, they literally cause problems in the house. And when you live that type of life, away from that, when people are in their retirement stage, like I said you have to prepare emotionally and socially. If I'm already retired, emotionally now, so much stress I've had during the time I was working. When I get to the point when I'm retired, it's a time where my emotions have to really calm down. Like, I'm supposed to have a peace, a cool in my spirit. They imagine that I'm there with a child who is asking me money for this, money for that, and they are not doing anything with their lives. It's also pressure on me. So to all parents who are listening to us right now, if you have such kids, we're not telling you that pack their things and send them away. They leave my house. That's not what we're saying. But I think that talk to them. You have to prepare their minds now. Now, you talking to them now is not telling them that you have to go because I'm taking up my retirement. Instead, talk to them about standing up on their feet. Because if you don't talk to them now, the life you're living now is what they're going to live. Africa in general has a problem with pattern. Cameroon in particular has a problem with pattern. If you go to most families, they have a pattern. There must be something that is like a pattern. Like
people don't go beyond.
They don't do this more. It's, to me, it's no spiritual problem. There is nothing like spiritual problem when it concerns pattern here in this Cameroon. If I want to look at the families I've actually monitored, there's nothing like pattern. It's ignorance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just ignorance.
Comfort zone. We want to be around here.
Yeah.
I have this issue. I have a daughter. She's in lower six. Okay. So when I came to Cameroon, she wasn't around. So when I came to Cameroon, I actually met her. She was in Form 4. So I had to take her from where she was, then send her to school. I can actually monitor her. So this child, seeing me, went to school and was like, my daddy Mr. Teke, my daddy has money. And then she was wasting everything. Like, you buy her things, the next time you are rebuying everything you bought, mattress, bucket, and all of that. So I started making inquiry, and I could hear all the pompous nature she's demonstrating in school. So what I did was, first, I started limiting the way I sent people to visit her. Now, anytime she comes back from holidays, I sit her down and I tell her, see, whatever money I have that I work for is not your own. Your husband's money will not even be your own. You have to start thinking of how to start making your own money. I limited every, because it's been long I've not seen her. I only started seeing her when I came back. So I don't want to show her love, but she misunderstood that. So I had to start cutting down certain things from her. And it got dawned on her that everything she's seen doesn't belong to her. So one day she came back from holiday and asked me, so what am I supposed to do to start making my own money? And I told her, any allowance that is given to you, save a percentage of it. And she started doing that. So anytime she comes back, I'll ask her, how much did you save? She'll bring the money. I'll keep it until when she had her ordinary levels, and then she brought some other money. So I told her, okay, this money we're going to save it for you. So I speak to you, we invested 2.4 million for this lady, and by the time in the next 4 years, that 2.4 million based on the investment plan should go to generate at least 78 million for her. By then she should be in maybe second to third year in the university. She's already a millionaire. I don't need to she doesn't need to depend on me to make money. Now on daily basis I keep training her, keep giving her financial education. This is how you do with money. You don't spend anything, you don't waste this, you don't waste that. Before she gets to finishing university, she's already financially mature mentally, and that's already settled for her, and she will be able to transfer that to her siblings who are coming up. So we were unfortunate. Probably we didn't have parents who knew this, and our parents did not have parents who knew this. But now that we are hearing this thing, is it possible that we should decide, we should agree and accept that we did not know this thing, but it's time for us to accept this new knowledge? This is a new thing, the new trending information that can help us. Like I always say, the average Cameroonian is living 100 years behind schedule. The information we have is 100 years backward. We still depend on job, we still depend on certificate, we still depend on CMPS thing. Can we change it? Can we decide that we are sorry, plead to our children and plead to our parents that we are sorry that we had the wrong information, but now the right information is coming in. Can we accept it? Go back to your children. If you are thinking of giving birth, I wonder why someone will be 50 years old and still giving birth to children. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3. Cut it down. There's no rule that says if you have many children you go to heaven. My parents gave birth to 12 children. Mr. Leo, these guys were broke and the entire children were broke. God just helped me to deliver me, and I have to come back and start carrying burden of all the family members. And I discovered that these guys, with the way they were broke, their mind was still broke and they were not able to change. They started living the way my parents were living. And I sat them down and said, see, there's no way you can record me every day to give you money. Come here every day to give you money to go to the hospital. Your wife is sick, I have to take care of your wife. I said, no, I'm going to give you this. Go with it. If you miss it, if you lose the money, don't come back to me again. And if you want to better your life, anytime I have my seminar, ask the last Audacity of Success, I had like 4 of my brothers. They paid. You cannot attend my seminar for free. I ensure that they pay, because people never had this. They thought because it's my brother, we can do it for free. What I did was, since most of them were IDPs, some came to Kumba, some in Boya, what I did was I built 2 houses, one in Kumba, one in Boya. Those in Kumba stayed in Kumba. So you know, tell me you don't have how you need to pay rent. Then give your money, go and do your business. If you lose the money, don't come back to me. It builds a sense of responsibility. Reduce the number of children you are giving birth to. I shout at my brother, how would you give birth to 6 children in the 21st century? You don't have money. Do you want to kill yourself? Cut it down, because the responsibility is increasing. Any day you give birth to 1 child, you have increased the responsibility.
Okay. Mr. Leo, good evening. This is my best program on my media prime. Really educative. Thanks for inspiring young Cameroonians. Pangwa said something really funny, but I draw something from it. He said when his father gives him bread and he eats it with a lot of appetite, he will ask him to throw it away. Most parents, in the name of law for their children, destroy them and make them grow up just like consumers, and when these parents are not there, they get lost. When you guys are saying is capital and is what every young man this day must use to start building the mindset of parents so that they can change the mindset of their children. Thanks. Kingsley is writing from Marwa. Thank you very much, Kingsley. Good evening, Mr. Leo. If someone can get married at the age of 40, when did you think he can prepare for retirement? I'm Bridget, writing from Muyuka. Yes, if you get married at that age, just start planning for.
You don't plan retirement when you get married. Okay. Even before you get married, before you are married, start planning for retirement. We said it when we started. The moment money start getting to your hand, when did you start working? You start working at 40.
Okay. Neighbor Paul Azinu says, good evening, Mr. Leo. How amazing is it to sit back and learn from you all today? I think it's about time people stop thinking of what will not work and focus on what will work, just like Mr. Teke said. Kudos to the team for the knowledge they are dishing out today. I'm so glad seeing my mentor and role model, Janeway
Joybet.
It's Janeway Joybet on board this great neighbor. Paul, good evening to you. You are not here with us today, but thank God you are here with us in spirit. I'm sure Mr. Buji too. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Madam. Another way to prepare for your retirement is learning from academic professors. I'm 28, but from experience, I've already prepared for my retirement by investing in the agricultural sector. Saving money in the bank does not guarantee decent retirement, but investing in any long-term business such as buildings and plantations agriculture can safeguard your retirement. Sylvain B from B. Writing in Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please tell Mr. Teke to give us some good example businesses. Desmond is writing from Boya. Can you just call Mr. Teke using the numbers under your screen? He will tell you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Ate, watching from Yaoundé. This is a wonderful program. Retirement has been taking people by surprise in Cameroon and any other country in Africa. Retirement should be a blessing, not a curse. It's not easy for one to work till retirement. Thank you for the wonderful way to sensitize our population. Engineer Ndobe Divine, writing from Kumba. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your program is very enriching. Thanks for the ideas. Thank you very much, the engineer. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm enjoying the program. As usual, you guys are changing lives through information you dish out through Prime R. And Mr. Teke is enriching lives through Text Global. Say hi to Mr. Teke. Alex is writing from Boya. Alex, I hope you join us one of these days, to also change lives. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and your guest. My question to Mr. Teke is that I can have the idea to invest, but how can I know a suitable business to invest on? Wilson is writing from Yaoundé. The business is also investment, is also a risk. Hello, Mr. Leo. Greetings to all in the studio. I think it's better for the youth to have a view of how their retirement will look like. For some people like us who sponsor their school fees right from one to opposite, and some of us even university, we already have a focus on how our retirement should look like. I suggest that if you don't want your retirement to give you worry, train your child on how to work money as soon as he or she reaches 15. I owe you, Mr. Liu, for bringing my awesome lady in the studio. Desmond Tutu is writing from Etudi in Yaoundé. Okay, my number has Momo, so I'm waiting for it after the program. Can we listen to the first excerpt of Paangwa Pius? You are an artist, you are a musician, you have lots of talents, and at your age, are you living a happy life? Did you take time to prepare for this age?
Mr. Leo, when you look from carving to this, what we have been talking, vegetable art, I've been looking for a possible way to have money, even to earn a living with my children. It's not easy. It was before that you can take a piece of artwork and go to Mancon or Bamenda Center or come down here, you will sell and have money. But with this present what we are calling war, which I don't even like to hear it, it's not easy for somebody to buy a piece of artwork and put his house for decoration. He prefers to buy food. There are times you see me, children, my child has asked me, why did I deliver him? Because he's not living the way a child is supposed to live. And then my wife, since you want me to talk more, my wife has money more than me now. And she wants me to be sleeping behind the bed. If your wife is feeding you, giving you whatever she's giving you, she wants you to sleep behind the bed. And that was what brought problem with I and my wife sometimes. That I'm fighting, although I'm like that, I still fight to see that I satisfy my own part in the house.
When you were young, why did you not foresee this? Why did you not prepare for this time?
Good. When I was young, all these diplomas that I was showing you, I was getting monies. I was building a place like this eco village, which I told you, hoping that by now, because when tourists, when they come to that place, I must have part of what I have to earn a living, because I designed that place. That place I designed, the asset I put there was more than almost 4 to 5 million. It's not an easy place, that eco village, which I'm talking of. In Bafut, Bafut. The people there are the women who were working. We had my brother who buried the place with me. They is dealing with the white women. They were coming. They were teaching women how to even build a house out of nothing. All these things. I was hoping that by now, not even be suffering, but it's worse. The whole thing is down. My own house, the bullets. It's not easy to walk. Even pieces of artwork that you see me walk, there are times when I'm walking, when you hear, bah, bah, you have to fall down first.
But at this issue, you're supposed to be resting.
How can you rest with hungry in your stomach, Mr. Adio? How can you rest with hungry? Children today, they know money. It's not in those days that they fool us with 50 francs you eat and stay for a day. Children today, they know money. But I, for one, I still have my strength. God has created me and created me well. As far as we are talking here now, I still hope that I'll do my best I'm changing the art from this to this, from this to this. If somebody doesn't buy, I enter people's houses with my artwork. If you sit like this and see me enter your house with a piece of artwork and you give me more money, more than what I think I would have even sold that piece of artwork. There are people doing it. If they don't even have some, they must give you small things at that moment to earn a living. So the artwork that you are working don't have a standard price.
Okay, you are watching Prima on My Media Prime. We are going to look at what may happen if you fail to plan for your retirement. Possible scenarios, Miss L, is the fact that you will need to work till you die.
Why should I work till I die?
No, I say if you fail.
You fail to plan, yes. You work till you die. If I give you where you would die, you should be working in your grave. Why should you first of all fail to plan? Honestly, I think everything is just circulating around the aspect of lack of information about retirement. You
find fathers who are really tired. They are either saving as gatesmen, they are saving as night watchmen. Yes.
Yesterday I saw a man of about 60. He was breaking stone, this stone that they use for building. It's a concrete, something like that. And when I turned and looked at him, the first thing that came to my mind, I said, God forbid. That's the first thing I said, God forbid. And then I was wondering, because when he was lifting up the hammer, you could feel like his bones are not strong, and you could see his hand shaking and all of that. When you fail to prepare for your retirement, trust me, you will work and keep working, because you even be scared to go on retirement. The first question you'll be asking yourself is that, what are you retiring to? And if you have nothing you are retiring to, you want to stay in the position that you are in. And normally Cameroonians or Africans are first of all afraid to dare the open world. Everybody's afraid to dare the open world. You want to be in a place where you already know how it looks like. You don't want to step out of it. Of course, nobody can work all their life. Don't work and die working. Get to the point where you can also work and rest. And those hours that you'll be spending at work can now start giving you money and then feeding you at one point in time. So it's better for you to start planning for your retirement as early as now, so you don't work all your life. Trust me, retirement is something we should be looking forward to. Retirement is not a time where you feel like the world has come to an end. Because I see people feel bad when they go in retirement. Like, when, let's say you're working in the government, you're working in a company, and they tell you, okay, in this company at the age of 60 or something like that, you have to go in retirement. Some people literally go to the point where they bribe in their establishments that their retirement should not be signed. That shows that they have not even prepared. They are not planning. They were not planning at all. And I said it last time that you should not be comfortable. You don't sit on a seat for the rest of your life. It does not work that way. You cannot sit on a particular position for the rest of your life. Meaning that at one point in time, at some point you will not be needed, but somehow you will have to shift to another person to be able to handle what you're handling. So imagine that the retirement meets you when you think you were not prepared, because you're estimating that, okay, I'm 40 now, I have like 20 more years, I can be able to prepare for my retirement. Imagine that it meets you before time. What happens? Let's get to the point where unforeseen circumstances come. Last week we spoke about preparing spiritually, Mr. Leo. We spoke about preparing spiritually, that something can actually happen, and before you know, you're out of your job or something. Now take for instance that you meet a disaster that takes you out of work and you're forced to go on retirement before time. What do you say? That you are not ready? You have to be prepared at all times, meaning that you have to start saving for it. Now start planning for it. Now, okay, yes, okay, start. When I said start planning, I'm talking about start planning for it. I'm talking about the first thing is about timing. I mentioned it last time. When do you think, have an estimate of when you think you will be willing or able to leave, to actually redirect your energy. And you can retire in stages. You don't just get one day and stop working. You have to prepare yourself. You can decide one time and say, okay, you want to reduce by your activities for some time. It's like preparing your mind for full-time retirement. You reduce your activities. You can decide sometimes to leave work for like a year or some months to prepare your mind for your full retirement, to see how it will look like. All right, so you have to save up for it. Save up for your retirement, because if you don't save up your retirement, at the end of the day, you discover that you are living your life fooling yourself and working for other people and not fending for yourself. Okay,
Mr. Jobert. Now, one of the things that you may end up doing, if you fail to plan, is you'll be drowned in debt instead of living your life because you did not plan. the income level drops drastically, yet you need to do certain things, especially for those who are on retirement. They still have to send children to school. You have to meet many needs, and if you do not
plan,
you will live in debt.
I'm happy that it's coming up. Looking at my family and many other families, I was talking to one of my aunts, and we were talking about her struggling financially. So I was trying to analyze her. I said, when you had your first child, your monthly income, your monthly salary was about 102,000. You had the second child, your income was the same. So responsibility increased, income is the same. You had your third child, income is the same. You had your fourth child, income is the same. So instead of growing wealthy, you are growing into poverty. And look at many families, it is the same thing. Responsibilities increase year in, year out. Salaries are at the same point. So how do you expect to retire a happy person and a debt-free person when you were increasing responsibilities without a corresponding increase in income? There are many people that retire with credit union loans here and there because of the only way they can be able to fund their increase in responsibilities is for them to get more loans. You see, and also at this stage, retirement in 1980 is not the same as retirement in 2020 or 2030. The living standard has increased. Technology is advancing everything, and if you are living in, like now, maybe in 1980, 1970s, you could live in Douala without an AC. But now it's not possible because of climate change. Many things have changed, and the living conditions are not the same. So when you fail to plan, two things are involved. The consequences will not be favorable to you. Either you will be borrowing to live from hand to mouth, or you will totally be helpless and only can afford basic needs for yourself.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I thank the crew on board and wish to know which business can help me at retirement. I had invested in Chimol, but everything looks bad. What should I do now? This KCK writing from Abamenda. What's Chimol?
One of these network
Chimol is one of the
stuff
that came up.
Network marketers. Hello, Mr. Liu. I need the lady's number for some business stuff. Thanks to Mr. Teke for his advice last week. That's why I will never miss this program. Miss L, your number is there now? Your number is on the screen. Okay, so get Miss L's number on the screen. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all the panelists. Good and enriching program. The questions are: how can one find a good business to invest in? How much can be as an investment rate for someone who does not have a job? Is Wilson Appa writing from Masore? Okay, Wilson, can you just call the numbers under your screen and talk to us? Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for impacting lives through your program. And to Mr. Teke, you are awesome. Please, I really like to invest, but I don't know how to go about it. Saving in a bank doesn't guarantee good retirement. Moa Brenda writing from Balmayo. Hey, my sister, good evening to you, Brenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please help ask Mr. Teke if it's advisable for a new business owner to take a loan. Eva is writing from Douala in Bonaberi. Please, can you guys just call the numbers on the screen? Yes. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love this program. It's very educative. Tung Bertrand is writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Bertrand. Now, Mr. Teke, we are looking at the scenarios that we may have to live out at retirement. If we fail to plan, we may have to leave our families with financial and emotional stress because we did not prepare.
Yes. If you don't prepare for your retirement, you become a burden, a liability to too many persons and even people who are not ready. Because if you don't prepare for retirement, the possibility is that some of your children, or even not all of your children, will not be ready. Because when you are preparing for retirement, you are also preparing your children. So if you don't prepare for it, you might end up getting retired and most of your children are not independent. And so you have to start putting burden on children who are still supposed to be depending on you or what you have built for them. So the liability stress is high. It might end up causing your kids to start living a kind of life that they were not supposed to be living. So imagine you have your children that their income level is not high, then they have to take care of you, take care of your wife, take care of their other siblings and all of that. And it's terrible. So if you must save your children from a lot of stress, you have to see how you can start planning for your retirement now. If you don't, you become a burden to almost everybody in your family. And that's sometimes when you call your kids or you call some of your siblings, they don't pick your calls because they know anytime your call comes into their phone, you want to ask for something. Especially those people that have their children abroad. Most parents think that if I send my child abroad, in short, just enter the plane. As soon as you land in America or land in Europe, automatically become a millionaire. So everybody wants to call you for money, money to buy food, money to eat, money to drink. A parent may want to go to the bar to go and drink with his friends and will call the child. Can you send me some more money? Let me go and drink with my friends on Sunday. That doesn't make sense. So preparing for retirement, outside saving money, you have to prepare your social circle and the kind of life you want to live. If you prepare for your retirement, the little money you have saved, what do you use it for? Use it to drink, use it to smoke, use it to lax around and all of that. It has a lot of ripple effects that comes. Everybody should prepare if we need to build a better and peaceful home. If not, like Pangwa said, you always have issues with your wife, you always have issues with your children, you always have family members. They'll start asking you things like, when you will work, now me will give your money. We've had people who say things like that because when you were working, you helped them. And I want to be very serious or terrible in this statement now. Now that you are working, I want you to understand that the people you are helping today, it is not a must that they must help you tomorrow. So don't help them today because it's the way we do it here. As I'm at the help my brother that picking them, so tomorrow I'm not saying they can't help me too. And so when they don't help you tomorrow or they look at you tomorrow, you start laying curses on them and then you die an unhappy man. Listen, you should think of your life, prepare your life, and then help the ones you can help. Don't be emotionally unstable. You have to prepare your emotions. Do the ones you can while you build your own life. Because when you are old, only people that love you so much will actually come around you. You have your life to live at your old age, and you have to prepare for it, whether you like it or not. So decide now how you want to live your old age, in peace or in hatred. It depends on you.
But leaving them also in emotional and financial stress, isn't it also because you may die at some point when they themselves are not prepared? They will need to be grappling with maybe some loans, some debts, and all like. They may not even have a decent home.
I was studying Miles Monroe, and he said, "See, you have to get to a level where you can prepare for your burial." That's what Miles Monroe said. He said, "Prepare for your burial. Save money for where your money for your coffin, money for where your grave will be dug or bought. If they are buried in a cemetery, they're supposed to pay for that space." He said, "Save money for it." That's how a righteous man prepare for their life. Prepare for your burial. As I'm going to die, what kind of burial do I expect? How much do they need to spend for my burial? Looking at how well I have worked on earth, I want my family to spend 10 million in my burial. Save the money. You should not die and post start contributing money. The entire family will contribute money for your burial. This is a common culture in Africa, and it is not right. The fact that we've been living it for too long doesn't make it right. Prepare for your burial. Prepare for your retirement. Just prepare for everything. It is your life, not nobody's life.
Okay. Also, another scenario will be the fact that your family becomes your life support. You have to spend time calling your kids, calling maybe your family to survive.
That's actually what happens. That's what is happening now. And most of our parents start cursing their children and giving them bad names because you keep calling them and pestering their lives when they are trying to build. When people are building, they focus. They don't have time to lift up their eyes. I'm looking at you who is old and did not plan for your life when you're young. Alright? So that's what some of us do. You get to the point where you become a burden to your children. They have bills. They pay their rents. They send their own kids to school. They have other things they are doing and they have to come take care of you. Why? It shouldn't be like that. Instead, be that type of father that even at that old age, you can still remember that this is my son. You know, that's one thing that people fail to understand. That's what most of our parents forget to understand. It's okay to make your children become your girl child become your sister when she's much older, or your son become like a brother to you when he's much older. But never forget that you have a father and you remain a father. Meaning that even at the age of 60, sometimes with so much money that your son has or your daughter has, it's possible for you to still come and get a bottle of drink and say, I bought this for you. Not to the point where you have to be calling people to be giving you money every time. And trust me, it's not like when your children don't take your course, it's not like they hate you. They also get tired of this calls that you're making. They also get tired of these things you're putting on their head. A friend of mine said if he calculates how much he has spent on his family on sickness for the past 5 years, it's enough for him to build 2 mansions. And he says as he's talking now, people are still sick in the family. And he's the only one who is working. Like a big man like that, he's the only one who is working, and then he's saying things like that. When I heard that, I was like, this is terrible. And he was telling me that the job he's even doing, when he started that job, everybody was against him. That why did he pick up that job? But he has been working there for about 15 years now. And he has saved a lot for himself. But he said that he has not been able to make enough because he's funding people's bills for sickness. Not even that they're asking money to have their own businesses, but to be funding them for their health. All right. So please, even though you're preparing for retirement or you are already retired, your kids are out of this game. Forget about them. Don't go pestering their lives, because if you have failed, all right, people should not stand on your failure. Meaning that if you failed planning for your retirement, don't go sucking up another person's life so the person should not be able to plan for their own retirement. As parents are trying to take away their kids from their expenses to be able to save money, you who did not plan for your retirement successfully, when your kids are planning, please, you decide as a father now to separate yourself from their expenses, from some major things, because some parents call even for money for light bill and for electricity. They tell you that electricity don't come 2,000. You have to send the 2,000 francs for electricity. They want this one for 1,000. Nobody wants to buy it because they feel like their child is working. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love this program. It's very educative. I would like to know how I can plan for my retirement, because my brothers and sisters, my parents, and even my own family depend on me, and my salary is just 70K. Thanks. I'm Rita Cho, writing from Yaoundé. Just call the numbers and we'll talk. Good evening, Mr. Teke. I like the program and I wish to be among you people. Ozil Chirako, writing from Northwest, living in Douala. Just call the numbers, Chirako. This one says, good evening, Miss Liu. How? I'm Raphael in Bafia. This is my best program. But the starting time, I'm still at work. Please do something. I must meet you people one day. Salute Miss L for me. Good evening to you, Miss L. This one says, good evening to you guys. Mr. Liu, I like the program. It's very important. Please tell Mr. Teke to tell me what I am to do to have a good business. Nicholas, writing from Santa. Can you just call the numbers on the screen? Good evening. Very educative program. Invest in your children can be good, even though not a guarantee. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to all the panelists from Boya. One of the ways I think one can better prepare a decent retirement is to empower all your kids financially. Immediately you start having kids with mustard seed income generating activities, and also shut your doors to family financial distractors till you attain leverage in life. Okay, I'm sure Mr. Teke has talked about that already. Good evening to you all in the studio. Such a great educative program there. How can you people help someone like me with the capital but confused with the type of business to do and also spend extravagantly? Can you just call us? How do you plan by sending children to school but they fail? Thanks. Mr. Nong is writing from Mutengene, Mr. Joybet. Mr. Joybet, yes, if you fail to plan and at the time you get to enjoy retirement, financial pressure especially if the kids are all around, the families are still all around, when you yourself are not prepared, and you had struggled to construct a decent house for yourself, you may be forced to sell that house and you find yourself in a tiny hurt just because you were not prepared.
Yeah, it's very possible. And I also think that selling the house or not, I think that one thing that guarantees that decision to turn out right is the kind of information that you have. It's still possible for you to sell the house, go to a smaller house, start up a good business, become successful, and buy a better house. It's still possible. But it's also possible to sell the house and misuse the money, all of it, and go to square one and maybe end up not being able to pay the rent that you are paying in that smaller house. So I think that one of the most important things that we should do as we plan for retirement is to consistently acquire knowledge about how money works, the economy. There are some things I call them high income skills. These are skills that you can acquire them and you can charge people and get paid for it. Maybe you're in a tight corner. But most importantly, I strongly recommend that if you're thinking of retirement, I will recommend people to start learning how investment schemes work, start learning how companies and shares and debentures and equity investments. These are things, if the United States is where it is and Europe is where it is in terms of preparing people for after work, it is the ability of these people to understand these key things. And this is information that is so available that our people don't know how these things work. I would challenge anybody watching this, go spend time, just read about investment. Spend time, read about what does it mean to acquire shares in a company. Spend time, read about what does it mean to buy government bonds. What does it mean to buy debentures? What does it mean to invest in a company and own equity? These are information that when you know, it will also help you to know what to do with money when you have money. Many people are stranded because there was a time that they had money, and that they end up not being able to utilize this money well because access to information and not knowing what to do with this money actually hindered them.
Okay. As a student, I wish to ask how I can start preparing for a comfortable retirement. Can you just call us using the numbers on your screen? We are going to answer you. Mr. Liu, in line with what Mr. Teke is saying, some relatives have become a burden to their children, especially those children that the family contributed money in buying a concours for them. Always do what you can do and be wise not to fall for the family emotional blackmail, because when some of those relatives are old, they will still look up to you to sponsor their children. It is unwise for a relative to be working and still be a burden to the child who is starting life. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm very sorry to say I'm kind of disappointed with what the lady in the house is saying. How can she refer to parents who pay all your bills as best just because they ask for little money to take care of them when they grow old? I'm actually not happy. Okay. Brenda is writing from Bomenda. Yes, but some truths are also okay. Now, your parents must not be poor for you to give them money. You give to your parents to be blessed. It is biblical obligation. While we encourage people to plan for retirement, there are obligations with our parents as appreciation. Kudos to all those at the panel. Apostle Ambe writing that. Yes, I'm sure this is what Miss L said. Yeah. She was not saying that we cannot help. Yeah. Yes, it's nice you use the
maybe we should ask
it's nice she used the term pest.
Yes,
because when you say pest, it means that a pest destroys now.
Yeah, it means that it's actually when it becomes too much.
I'm not sure anybody is saying that there is no way. You cannot abandon your parents.
You cannot do that.
What we are actually trying to establish, Mr. Liu, is that we are building the mindset of the parents to know that they should not make it as a responsibility, a must do.
That is, you forget about taking care of your retirement, hoping that your children will
forget about your own responsibility, preparing for your retirement, hoping that your children. What if this child you send to school, something happens to the child and he's not capable? So what we are saying is, we are not saying that children should be wicked to their parents. We are preparing the parents' mind to prepare for themselves in case these children are not able.
Now,
because nobody knows. You might have a son who get married to a wife that refuses that you must not take care of your parents.
Okay, yeah.
absolutely. That's what I wanted to say. Now,
anything.
look at some of these young prophets that go and prophesy that your mother is a witch, and
Yes, and children away from
cut
them.
children from the foot for
So,
years, and the mother is suffering.
Building parents' mind. Parents, what we are doing is to help you create an alternative. Like,
Be
my first
sustainable.
priority is me, prepare for myself. If my children come up beautiful, it will be like a gift, like an extra. Not that I must totally depend on my children for my retirement.
Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to the panelists. Special thanks to Mr. Teke and his team. Their special tips on financial independence by setting up businesses. It has helped me a great deal. Seka is writing from Yaoundé. Seka, we are glad to read such messages. Send your testimonies. Do videos and send.
Yes.
So that we'll have testimony time. Evening, Mr. Leo. It's so difficult this time to invest because everything is hard. When those people are talking about investing, they should also give the bad sides of investing. It doesn't favor everyone. So Mr. Teke should be clear and explain how we can invest. Mbong is writing from Mbong. How is Womb today? Yes, but I've always said that investment is also a risk.
Yeah.
So it works and it fails. I'm sure Mr. Teke has lost hundreds of millions now investing.
Like I said last time, the kind of money I've lost, I'm yet to find maybe someone of my age or a little older than me that lost that kind of money. So there's nothing like I lost it and I cannot gain it back. I've been able to run an agri investment business in Cameroon, getting to 4 years now, and I have watched people leverage from it. So if I talk about investment, I know how it fails, I know how you can succeed in it. So if you have any doubt on what do I do with my money, where do I invest in and all of that, don't worry. This time around, we have the right information from you.
Okay.
For you, just get the contact, call us, and we're going to put you through.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. What an interesting topic. What I want Mr. Teke to know is that in Africa, you must decide to be self-centered if you must plan for retirement. But I'm sure Mr. Teke himself said you forgot about your family for 8 years.
For 8 years, I never talked to anybody. They thought I was dead. Nobody knew about me. And I did that consciously because I had not built my financial life. So taking care of family at that moment was simply getting me to their level.
Yeah.
Living an average life, because the little I would have used to invest, I would have used to take care of my family. So I left them. And right now, the things I'm doing for them, if I had been doing it for them, I would never have done it all through my life. I can do something for 10, 20, 30 million in one day for family members. But before now, it was not even possible to do something for 2 or 3 million. So there's a time you have to be hard on yourself, hard on your emotions, and hard on your family members.
Okay, that is Mbatengo writing from Douala. Mbatengo, I hope you've gotten Mr. Teke now. This one says, I want to ask the lady in the house, what about a situation where your parents are not doing anything? Where do you expect them to get money to pay bills? Don't get it wrong. We are saying that we should start planning. This message does not go to people who are failed. The essence of this program is to get those of us who are still active to know that in the future, in the next 10 years, because there are people who retire at a very young age. Yes, so it's not as if we are saying that people should not assist their parents. No, we are rather encouraging people to prepare for their retirement so that they don't become burdened to their children, because the information we are giving out there, they did not have. So good evening, sir. Which business can I start up with 600k to have a better retirement or to better manage my family? Just call us using the number, sir. Hello, good evening. I'm interested to the program. Yes, we are glad to know that we are interested in the program. Now, Mr. Teke, we are talking about preparing for retirement. We have people who would say, I want to prepare for my retirement. You build 3 very big houses, hoping that when you go on retirement, you rest here today, you rest here tomorrow, and you discover that their income level might have dropped, and then taking care of these houses may be too expensive. So the preparation itself must be wise.
Yes, your preparation it's very important. Understanding, that's why when we start, I think Mr. Jobes said, in this journey you need to ask experts, people who know what to tell you, because if you prepare wrongly, no matter how hard you prepare, you might get it wrong. You can't be building 3 houses for retirement houses, because when you are old, you don't have strength to be moving around. Building a very big house with 3-story building, you can't even climb the staircase. So how do you want to enjoy that? So the preparation is very important, and you can always meet us at any time. We can consult you on issues like this. One of the jobs we do with one of our companies, Shape Academy, is consulting, and we can always consult you on how to build your life, so that by the time you get old, you can actually live a stress-free life, so you don't die before your time. So some people actually die when they die unhappy because they never wanted to die at that moment, but the stress is too much because your preparation was wrong. You, instead of building 3 living houses, why not build 2 commercial houses and then build 1 living house? You stay in one, the other 2 will be for rent. How sweet will it be at your old age, you walk with your 2 hands behind you and then go to your house and then look at your tenants, they pay your rents to the bank and all of that. Just go there, withdraw your money, and you're living your life rather than staying in 3 houses. Preparation is very important. Don't always be extravagant in whatever you do. There's an extravagant preparation also, so we have to cut down. We have to put everything into balance. Everything should be in balance, and you need an expert to guide you through, and we're always available.
Okay. Hi, what can I do to plan for my retirement?
We're available, just call us.
You can just watch this program again tomorrow. No, Monday, okay, 1 p.m.
Yes. Okay.
Tomorrow is Saturday, 1 p.m. You are going to get this, but you should call the numbers under your screen. Mr. Liu, good evening. In the house, only the foolish cat that doesn't think about tomorrow eats a program. Okay, this is Derek writing from Bingo. I'm enjoying the program. Yes, Bingo. Derek wants everybody to prepare.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Liu, I agree with the fact that you can't abandon your parents, but at times they should learn how to be limiting in their needs. It's Lecky writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, I want to know how to plan for my life as a student now. This is Michael writing from Bamenda. Michael, just call us, we'll help you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Eposi writing from Limbe. In as much as we need to plan, we have to take care of our parents. If the two said they should concentrate on their wonder what the children would do. My parents educated me, and now I have to take care of them. Okay? He says, God bless you. Yes, but that is what we are saying. Good evening to you all in the studio. Love your enriching programs. I pray we put on what we've heard to practice to have a comfortable retirement life. Justine writing from Douala. Good evening to you, Justine. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Michael from Bonaberry. I'm really enjoying your program, but my problem is I earn 60K a month but don't know what to do, know what to invest. Please help me. I'm 20 years old. I'm sure we had a program where we talked about sources of income.
Yes.
Different. You should look for different income sources.
Yeah, though it's not too late, 60,000 and you're 20 years old is a lot to start preparing. So I think he can just call. We can take him on a one-on-one coaching and tell him what to do, what percentage to save, and when to start investing that money. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I love the program. Pierrette writing from Yaoundé. Today is my first time. Pierrette, you're welcome. Always take the rendezvous every day from Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. And Tuesdays are also very good. Good evening, everyone. I love the program. Okay, thank you very much for loving and sending us your prayers. We hope that we are going to continue to be giving you the best. Miss L, to prepare for our retirement so that we leave an inheritance for our children and our children's children. But one aspect to watch out for as a married man preparing for retirement is to guard against divorce. Yes, because it may devastate your retirement. Yeah.
I laughed because I just thought of the divorce that is on air now. There's a particular divorce case that people are talking about. Yes, and it's also shocking me as well. Yes, it's true that divorce has a role it plays, because we can effectively prepare for retirement and prepare to safeguard the future of our children. But one time when the family starts having issues, it affects everything, even productivity in the house. Because remember that when you're setting up the business, it's not just you. It's a whole team. I think businesses that are established by a family involves everybody in the family. And so it needs that the minds of everybody should be together so that they can be able to effectively put in their strength to see the business or the company or anything they are doing to grow. So when we get to the point of divorce, I think we really have to guard against divorce because it affects a lot.
You people need to share the resources, eh?
Yes, it affects a lot. At one point in time, the people who suffer are the kids because at the end of the day, they end up not having nothing, like nothing.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Okay, take a case that you're married and you as a woman, you have your own resources. If you separate with your husband and they give you yours, the moment you get married to another man, those resources you left from this marriage with is going to this other house again, and you're making new kids there. And at the end of the day, 1,000 francs that you had to share between among two persons is now going for 4 persons. So when we get to the aspect of divorce, away from the finances, emotionally, it actually disturbs a lot. Emotionally, divorce disturbs our retirement a lot, because retirement is at that point where you get to have
you need company. You have to live a life that I don't know how to put it, but there's a rest. It's a time of rest, not like physically, but there's rest right in the inside, in your mind. And most of the times, it will be good when you're able to look back at the things you had invested in. Imagine that you're home and you see your kids coming, talking to you, and they have their own children, or you see your wife talking to you or your husband talking to you, and now you're divorced and you're trying away. There is nobody to be beside you. There are people who have made a lot of money, who plan so much for their retirement, and there's nobody around them. Like in their retirement age, they are alone, and they even die early because there is nobody around them to keep them happy. There is no family, no kids. There are many people like that. Okay.
So we have, when we're talking about retirement, like I said earlier, it's not just about the money. Okay. There's a lot that circles around it.
Let's take the second excerpt of our special guest on the program, Pa Ngwapayos. You were young. Why did you not foresee this? Why did you not prepare for this time?
Good. When I was young, all these diplomas that I was showing you, I was getting monies. I was building a place like this eco village, which I told you, hoping that by now, because when tourists, when they come to that place, I must have part of what I have to earn a living, because I designed that place. That place I designed, the assets I put there was more than almost 4 to 5 million. It's not an easy place, that eco village, which I'm talking of. In Bafut, Bafut. The people there are the women who were working. We had my brother who buried the place with me. They is dealing with the white women. They were coming. They were teaching women how to even build a house out of nothing. All these things. I was hoping that by now, not even be suffering. But
do you think that there should be retirement for people in your field?
The retirement with people like us can only be decided if government knows a man like me, because I was government supposed to have even given me a house. Yes, because the diplomas that I have, if you put it up now, if you, Mr. Liu, you are a man from the media, go and put it up. That is Ngwapayos has papers, 28 good diplomas, and that you are putting on concours. Any other artist who has even nearer 15 of them, let him also come up, we'll compare and see. We'll give him a dash. There's nobody. I'm proud of myself in this country. But I'm only proud dancing in my house. The Ministry of Culture in Yaoundé knows me. My phone numbers are there. Sokadap is somebody who has been helping us at times, giving people like 100,000 after 2 years. But I don't even have luck on that section, because there are times when they get the monies, we have CBC Bank in Bamenda. They send our monies to CBC Bank, Bafoussam. They come and stay there, we are not informed. There are monies at times which are followed. It's just a mere good Samaritan who went and saw my name in Bafoussam, around some monies which they have sent. The man has been there for a long time. Bafoussam decided to send it back to CBC Bank, Yaoundé. before I follow that money. Why should be suffering on top of something, even very small money like that, which are giving you as pension, as your rights?
What should a young artist start doing so that by the time he gets to your age, he should not be working? Since government is not paying anybody.
Let him really look into, follow my story. Hardworking. When you work 10 francs, eat 5 francs, and even enter youngest, of which I did not know that before. Meet a group of people where just clear yourself away from children who are rough. Had it been I was rough, Mr. Lee, although I don't have money or living well, I would have not been living. The bullet things like that would have even put me down. So I'm happy the way my father brought me up. My father was a cook. I witnessed the war in Nigeria in around 1956. I saw the war between Ojukwu and Gawan when they were fighting in Nigeria, that Biafra war. I was at the age of 5 years. So my father treated me, when my father gives me bread, and then when I eat it, and eat it fast, eat it as if I'm enjoying the bread. My father will ask me whether the bread is good. I say yes. My father will tell me to go and throw it. According to him, he thinks that as I'm enjoying with that bread now, I have the anxiety to be stealing his money as I'm buying bread. Look at his own way of thinking of a child. But if you give a child that room of any coming, growing up there, you begin to bet him, giving him money, give him all those facilities, he'll grow with that. He will not know what is good and bad. And then the hard working also, especially during this time that let youths, at times you see youths, they wear trousers and hang them down like that as if they can't shoot. That's not the kind of the youth that I'm talking of. A child who dress well. Because with us in the Northwest, if they see you wrapping down your head or tracking, they gun you down. Because they know that you are big. They believe that those are Mr. Leo, they will think that you are big. That's why you find innocent people dying in the whole situation.
Okay, the focus here, why I wanted this replayed is the fact that many persons think that the objective here is those who are already at the age of retirement or no. Mm-hmm. The focus here is for those of us who still have time to work and then retire. So he is talking there to young people that if he knew, he would have
done it better.
And you know, as we said earlier, immediately you're able to start making money. Mm-hmm. I always say there are 3 basic steps when you start knowing about money: is make money, keep money, and multiply money. So immediately you start making money, the next step should be start seeing how you can keep part of this money apart from making a living. Because many a times people take everything and they make a living. When I say make a living, it means they're able to fund their shelter, their clothing, their leisure, lifestyle, all of that, expenses, and they live from hand to mouth, month after month. But it's important that when you make money and you're making a living, keep part of that money and have a plan to see how you can multiply that money. I always encourage this thing whereby somebody has money overnight and they're like, what shall we do with this money? It also means that you're not going to make the right decision because you are just reacting to the situation that you have money. But you need to come to a point whereby you are proactive, that okay, this, when I make money, apart from making a living, I need to keep this money and take time to think, what are the various means that I can multiply this money? And the only way to answer this question is if you have access to information. What kind of information do you have that can help you multiply money? Do you know how to set up a business that can operate on its own and you multiply this money with it?
Okay.
Do you know how to invest in another business? Do you know how to buy shares and debentures and equity and all of that before you're able to multiply?
Good evening, Mr. Liu. When you close, give that lady 2 tops tomorrow. She reasons more than her age. God. Still, Rafaela, but you have reacted to my problem of time. 7:30 can be good. That lady reasons more than me. Say, give her now. Send it down. Just send so that I will give her. Rafaela, thank you for the message.
Thank you for your talk.
Yes, should send so that I will give. Okay. This one says, "Good evening, all the panelists. I have set up my palm oil business as my retirement income generating activities to keep me live better besides saving and retirement benefits, and I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered someone to help me at old age. I'm praying and preparing to set up my geriatric home for myself and others at old age who pay for it by their family members." BJ is writing from Bermuda. This is what we are talking about. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please tell your panelists to give us practical investment possibilities. All this buying of shares or bonds is not in our cultures, and considering that at times that these companies may run away with our monies. Can you just call? We'll give you practical. Good evening to everyone in the studio. Interesting program. Should one hurry to start building a house with limited capital, or use it to invest in and later use the interest in starting your building? Equally, can you encourage someone to buy a taxi and drive? Please help answer now, particular Mr. Teke. Laura is writing from Buitingi. Laura, can you just call Mr. Teke after the program using the number under the screen? Austin writing from Yaoundé says, "But that lady who just talked now is because of her parents that she is there now, because she's meaning that child has the responsibility to take care of their parents no matter what." Austin, I think you misunderstand us. We are saying that you have to take care of your parents' bed, not to that level. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, I have a piece of land of 650 meters square. Please, I don't have money to construct now. Please, can they help me what I can farm on that land that can give me monthly money? The land is in Boya. Ernest is writing from Manfi. Ernest, can you just call us? Eposi writing from Limbe says, "Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for the program. The best investment a parent can do is to give the best education to their children. God forbid that I don't take care of my parents. Take care of them till you bury them. They should be part of my burden." Thanks so much. God bless you. Okay, thank you too. This one says, "Please, can I call tomorrow?" Good evening. Call, yes, call tomorrow. Please call the numbers. Good evening, Mr. Liu and other panelists in the studio. I have been learning much from your programs. I am Kong Wilson Bankse, writing from Mokolo in the far north region of the country, Cameroon. Thanks so much for the educative programs. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Liu. Kelly Taka from Douala is so much aligned with what Mr. Remarkable said about investing in shares, bonds, debentures. Most people don't actually understand the market does. The reason they invest in the wrong businesses. Again, some of our leaders have so listened to motivational speakers that they tend to give the right advice for the wrong situation and not facing the realities of situations. Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. I enjoy this program. I would like to ask Mr. Teke, I did electricity, but I'm more in agriculture, but lack of money to take it up. So how can I prepare for my retirement? Elvis Fonong is writing from Batoke. Elvis, can you just call us tomorrow? Hello, Mr. Liu. Here is my number, and I would like to get it in touch. Any business-minded panelist for personal advice. Okay, I don't know where you are writing from, but you are writing from out of the country. Can you just write to us, or you call the numbers under your screen? There we will have to end here. Mr. Teke, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liu, and thanks so much our televiewers who were able to answer your questions. And we'll still be here Monday to Fridays. Thank you so much, and do have a wonderful night.
And also to you, Miss L.
It was a pleasure being here, but I will not stop without informing us that TextBridge is actually already working. So some people have been getting to me about their projects. You can work on your project, get to us, any of the contacts, they get to us. If you have projects that you need funding for, get to us with your projects, then we can be able to take it up from there. And let's look forward to our retirement. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Mr. Joybed, for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liu, for having me, and it was a good session.
Okay, and to you, Desmond and Eli, producing the program, Bertrand and Noel, we say thank you to all of you, especially to you who took time off to watch the program and contributed by sending us text messages. We equally want to say thank you to you, Tabi Tambe Bryant, who is supervising the work we do out here, and not forgetting you out there in Kumba, the big guys. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.